Welcome back, my wayward weirdos. Sugar Pants back at it with another season of salty cinema from the cellar. Hope you all had a nice break from the bile, because I've got a whole new smorgasbord of red delights lined up for you. And it all begins with this frightful first course. 1989's Robot Ninja. It's like if one of the artists who drew Batman comics thought, I could do that, puts on some shitty cosplay and sets out to clean up the streets. Of course, this skips the little detail that Bruce Wayne is a trust fund billionaire brat who's never had to earn a paycheck when he's not out mercilessly beating up on nameless henchmen. So with that said, let's get to that sleaze docket and see what this flimsy feature has for us all. We have 13 dead bodies, 30 cups blood, 0 naked breasts, stab-o-vision, hardware shop and suit build montage, eye stabbing, wrist stabbing, knee stabbing, neck stabbing, forehead stabbing, one handectomy, one van smushing, one tire iron bashing, gunshot to the back of the head, gunshot to the shoulder, gunshot to the back, DIY surgery, intestine vomiting, self-inflicted headshot, demonic gore-filled dream sequence, gratuitous pill popping, and gun through the eye. Not a bullet, a fucking gun stabbed through the eye. We begin, as all great stories do, in suburban Ohio. A deadite in red sunglasses is running through the forest. Wait, no, that's our hero. Robot Ninja busts through the shack door and starts kicking everyone's ass quite skillfully. Oh, it's just the cheesy TV version of the graphic comic character. Look, kids, it's Linnea Quigley! Look, kids, it's Burt Ward! We then get a first-person POV shot through the maintenance section of the building that's supposed to be a TV studio as our main guy, Leonard, storms to the front desk. He's confronting his agent about the terrible treatment of his character, but the studio doesn't care.
Tell your boy here, we got the hottest TV show since Batman on our hands here.
Hold on. Time out. Really? Are you honestly going to act like there's been nothing between the years of 1966 and 1989? We're just going to completely ignore the lovely Linda Carter in Wonder Woman? The Incredible Hulk? Not even the animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series? Jesus, the Super Friends or even Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends had to be better than fucking Robot Ninja. You're telling me Robot Ninja is better than The Greatest American Hero, or even Electra Woman and Dyna Girl? Bullshit. Sorry, back to whatever. Leonard finally storms off and smashes the security guard's TV. Time for the opening credits. And after a bit, I honest to God thought someone had switched the channel to Orgasmo. And now I kind of want to watch Orgasmo.
Somebody save me. Orgasmo.
Unhand her, Jizm.
No. I have a job to do. And its name is Robot Ninja. 4 solid fucking minutes of opening credits later, we join our movie already in progress. Leonard is driving around and we just leave him for a random couple out on the most awkward date ever.
Thank you for dinner.
Now for the dessert.
Before they can get in their car, a group of bad dudes grab her and take off. The idiot boyfriend chases them on foot instead of using his car, and he gets hijacked as well. A short distance down the street, the baddies have van trouble and have to pull over. And as luck would have it, Leonard is immediately on the scene with his car phone. Wow, dude must be loaded. He calls the police to report a possible assault, but is spotted by the gang, who take their victims outside. Well, now he knows for certain it's an assault. Leonard approaches them and they draw weapons, but he still tackles the one holding the woman. She takes off and Sanchez shoots her from behind, which leaves her mouth looking like she kissed an industrial lathe for some reason. Leonard tackles Sanchez, which knocks the guy free, but Ravel stabs him a few times, then shoots him 6 times. Sanchez steps back to show she got Leonard, but we don't see how that happened. Suddenly, the cops pull up and the van is magically able to start up and drive away. The cop hasn't even fully stepped out of his cruiser and can positively deduce the entire scenario in 3 seconds. Next day, Leonard is being carried back home by his friend Goodnight, who says he's lucky he didn't get much more than some bumps and bruises. But I can't pay attention to anything other than this ridiculous fucking hat. Back at Leonard's studio, he turns his experience into his latest comic. Seriously though, this is a world-renowned comic book artist? I remember shitty photocopied mid-90s zines in the local artist section of middle-of-nowhere farm country comic shops that look better than this. Stanley Kane is interviewing a new comic artist who apparently isn't too happy that Leonard's work is the best anyone will acknowledge and storms off so angrily even the wallpaper tries to get out of his way. Miss Barbeau comes in and, hey look, it's Dr. Alien! She takes a look at Leonard's newest comic but comments that it doesn't look like the TV show. Just then Leonard calls to see if the new comic pages arrived, but Kane says they thought he was going to adapt his new series to the show. Leonard sticks to his guns and says the deal was he does the comic, they do the show. After hanging up the phone, Leonard turns the TV to the All Exposition channel to get caught up on the latest crimes. He takes off for Goodnight's garage to see if he can build him a robot ninja suit so he can do some vigilante justice. Goodnight reminds Leonard that Batman was rich. See? My point exactly. But then Leonard throws down a roll of 20s and acts like he's fucking Jeff Bezos after launching another penis rocket. Goodnight is reluctant, but agrees to do the job. Finally, the suit is ready, and Goodnight shows off all the features, including a voice changer. Goodnight says he should get some sleep, but Leonard is desperate to take the suit out to the streets. Before he leaves, he raids the medicine cabinet for some random pills.
Remember, winners don't do drugs.
Meanwhile, at the video rental store... Excuse me. We run into the only 3 criminals in town, apparently. Hey, would you look at that selection? This is an awesome store. See, kids, this is what Netflix and Hulu used to look like. You had to get your parents to drive you to the video store and then give you your allowance. Then you walked in, looked to see what movies were available, and you had to make your choice based on the box art and description alone. And then you had to talk to the person behind the counter who would give you the cassette tape on the condition that you not only brought it back after 2 days, but also have it rewound. That's right, kids. You had to spend several minutes at the end of the movie rewinding this tape all the way back to the beginning, or you'd get a penalty fee. Sorry. Back to the movie. Sanchez and her crew are robbing the store, and with those rental prices in the back, I'm sure the register is just... a flush with cash. Outside, innocent bystanders are coming to return their movies. Leonard is listening to the police scanner and hears a cop who reports seeing a vehicle that matches the description from the previous crime and stomps on the gas. Sanchez has the kid hostage and Ravel kills the clerk. Wait. If you were just gonna kill him no matter what, then why didn't you just do it when you first got to the... You know what? It's the first episode of the season, and I already don't have enough energy to fight with this one. The gang runs outside, and Scully attacks the older sister. Ravel opens the van, and out pops Robot Ninja! So glad you waited in the parking lot, leaving the gang to freely murder an innocent video store clerk.
I'm not even supposed to be here today!
Suddenly, the movie gets all artsy and cuts between real life and comic world. Ravel takes the girl and starts tearing her clothes off, and Robot Ninja just stands there until Sanchez throws the kid to the ground.
I am the Robot Ninja, and I kick ass.
Ravel gets stabbed in the chest, and then the eyes, and suddenly this movie got real fucking interesting! Sanchez runs to tackle Robot Ninja instead of using her fucking gun and gets knocked down. Sirens sound, and everyone takes off. The girl checks on the boy who's bleeding from the head, and Robot Ninja gets in his car acting way too pleased with himself. Police arrive just in time to see Leonard without his mask driving away. Leonard's sleeping off his murder boner when Goodnight pounds on the door to show him the newspaper saying a 13-year-old boy is dead. Leonard says it wasn't his fault, but Goodnight isn't letting him off the hook so easily, and calls him out for stealing drugs from his medicine cabinet. Goodnight then demands the suit back, but Leonard refuses to let him take it, shoving him to the ground before he angrily takes off. Night comes quickly and Leonard's ready to kill some more. A big shot of pills.
Remember, winners don't do drugs.
And he's off. A couple officers are on patrol.
Quiet night.
Yeah. A little too quiet.
But Leonard isn't too far behind. He parks his car and gets out and notices Sanchez's van pull up. Scully and a whole group of punks jump out, including Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps?
Bienvenue, Power Bottoms.
Sanchez barks her orders, and the group rushes Robot Ninja, and the first one gets stabbed through the chest. The rest take him to the ground and wail on him until he gets his blade free and slices off a hand. Then we get a comic book montage of a few kills, I guess for budgetary reasons. Sanchez pulls a knife and starts cutting Robot Ninja's wrist open, then kicks a few dents into his mask. Now imagine if he had spent more than a couple $100 on the goddamn thing. They carry Robot Ninja to the van, but he kicks Scully in the junk and they drop him. Sanchez finally pulls a gun and shoots him a couple of times, but sirens in the distance chase them off once again. Before they can escape, the cops crash into the love child of Eddie Deason and Stephen King, then shoot not Aaron in the chest.
God fucking damn it! I'm fucking done!
Robot Ninja, Sanchez, and Scully all get away, and Leonard again takes his mask off in front of the police.
That was cool.
The gang follows Leonard to see where he goes, which is Goodnight's garage. He busts through the door looking way more like the Toxic Avenger all of a sudden. Unfortunately, Goodnight's not there, so he's going to have to help himself. Sanchez and Scully pull up and instead of finishing him off, give him the sporting chance of resting up. No, seriously, Sanchez literally says that's the plan and that they'll come back later in the morning. Leonard flops his wrist onto the table and starts poking around. He mops up the blood and starts his own DIY surgery, shoving plastic tubing to reconnect his veins and holding it in place with bits of metal. Then, with a dirty X-Acto knife, he digs open his thigh and pulls out a bullet, then jams the wound shut with a metal plate. Jesus, Sanchez doesn't have to kill this guy. The world's biggest infection is gonna do it for her. He then pops some more pills.
Remember, winners don't do drugs.
And heads home to mend. Before he gets there, he runs into one of the police officers knocking on his door. I mean, his car has been spotted at both vigilante crime scenes, and the vigilante is Leonard's intellectual property. Honestly, his house should have a cop posted 24 fucking hours a day at this point. But the cop walks away when nobody answers the door, and Leonard slips inside to document his latest events.
Remember, winners don't do drugs.
Again, this is why Batman is an impractical hero to model yourself after. When you gotta do your regular job after beating up villains, you're just wearing yourself thin. Next morning, Goodnight returns to his shop to find blood all over the place and lots of drugs missing. But before he can find Leonard, Sanchez and Scully arrive and push him down the stairs into the basement. They start smashing and ripping the place apart before turning their sights to Goodnight himself. But it's not enough to shoot the poor guy. They shove the gun barrel through his eye first. Then they pull the trigger. I honestly don't think I have ever seen that in a movie before. Leonard's been drawing all day long and takes another mouthful of pills.
Remember, winners don't do drugs.
And says,
It's time to play.
Before getting in his car and heading out for another night of vigilante fun. Only this time it comes with a smoky, blood-filled demonic hallucination, as I'm sure his infected wounds have spread to his brain. First he stabs Sanchez so hard she pukes her guts up, then all of those he killed before come back to face him as cheesy, blood-soaked monsters. To be fair, though, he's not directly responsible for all of these deaths. A couple were killed by the police. Leonard heads over to Goodnight's house and finds his body hanging from the ceiling. Robot Ninja Fucker. Now, is that a person who fucks robot ninjas, or is that a robot fucking machine that fucks ninjas? Definitely no way I can get away with that thought on the show. The note says to meet at the junkyard. He gets in his car to leave, and just when we think the police have gotten smart enough to put a tail on Leonard, they let him leave and snoop around Goodnight's place without a warrant, and contaminate a lot of fucking evidence. Plus, it's never called into headquarters, even when the radio calls him first. Dispatch says they're getting sightings of the suspect's vehicle heading towards the old junkyard. The cop then finds the note saying to meet at the junkyard. Think there's a fucking connection or any reason to relay this information at all? Robot Ninja makes it to the junkyard where Sanchez and Scully are waiting for him, but RN is barely able to lift himself off the ground. Scully walks all the way up to him with a gun and stands there until he gets stabbed in the knee. He falls to the ground and gets his skull stabbed. Now Robot Ninja's got a gun, which I think he should have had from the very beginning, but whatever. The police arrive, finally. Sanchez fires up the van and runs the cop down. Now that he's out of the way, it's time for the knockdown brawl between her and RN. Sanchez gets clocked across the face and gushes way more blood than I think a person can do without dying immediately. And then she stabs him in the back of the neck. Robot Ninja goes to use his throwing star, but hallucinates Sanchez as a demon and is startled. Sanchez starts wailing on him with a tire iron, but I guess he's so doped out of his gourd he doesn't really notice. The police finally arrive and Sanchez tries to make her escape.
We'll meet again, Robot Ninja.
But there's no sequel for Sanchez as the cop guns her down. RN gets in his car to take off and the cop is right behind him. He makes it back to his apartment just in time to puke some blood on the carpet and wave bye-bye to his security deposit. Then he puts a gun to his head,
just like I planned,
and sprays his gray matter all over his last comic pages. The cop busts through the door and finds Leonard's corpse in the corner. Back at the comic book company, the earlier artist finally gets hired on now that there's an opening on the staff. And we're told that the final Robot Ninja comics are now the hottest thing on the market.
We've already pre-booked more copies than DC's Dark Knight series.
No, you didn't. Cut to a random comic book shop to find everyone going gaga over the latest edition and roll the credits. Whew! Well, that was a movie. Honestly, I like this one way more than I thought I was going to. The gore and cheese definitely help because the acting and script are pretty lacking. Rent it, gather a group of friends, put out a few bowls of snacks, then turn off your brains and enjoy 82 minutes of glorious stupidity. To me, though, this is what low-budget movies are supposed to be. Take a simple concept and run with it. Too often, we see directors get nothing for a budget and then insist on grandiose plans that couldn't possibly happen. And since no one's really getting a paycheck for their efforts, nobody steps up to put a stop to the madness. But not here. This movie had a budget of $15,000, and they made something stupid but entertaining. Good for you, J.R. Bookwalter. I always say I don't mind a stupid movie as long as I wasn't bored, and I was never bored here. Michael Todd played our titular heroic dual character, Leonard and Robot Ninja. His very first acting gig came at the wee age of 3, playing Robbie Douglas Jr. in 16 episodes of My Three Sons. He also got to be Puppet Toulon in Puppet Master 2. And that's about it for the main cast. But we have some nice guest stars in this one. Of course, the always delightful Linnea Quigley, whom I discussed in my Season 2 episode, Dr. Alien. Go check that one out for our full rundown of our horror queen. And trust me when I say we're not done seeing the lovely Linnea on the show. Burt Ward, or as most people would know him as, Robin, makes a brief cameo appearance as the head of the comic book company who has no problems publishing Leonard's blood-soaked comic post-mortem. Some of his other non-Robin projects include High School USA, Beach Babes from Beyond, and Assault of the Party Nerds 2. But he's still working to this day. And Scott Spiegel, who played the artist who replaces Leonard at the end, has actually been in quite a bit of high-profile projects. The Evil Dead 1 and 2, Darkman, The Quick and the Dead, From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Drag Me to Hell. On the directing side of the business, Scott has Intruder, From Dusk Till Dawn 2, and Hostel 3 to his name. Other than his direct contributions to the Hollywood machine, he went to school with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, and even helped Quentin Tarantino by letting him sleep on his couch and introducing him to producer Lawrence Bender, who helped get Reservoir Dogs made. Sometimes it's just amazing what you find when you do a cursory amount of digging behind the scenes. Well, kiddies, that's going to do it for this jump start to Season 4, but there's plenty more schlock and slime on the way. So stick around for more of the basement tapes, and until I greet you then, this is your friend till the end, Sugar Pants. See you in your dreams.